Hello there, welcome welcome back to Real Living and Innovation. I'm the host of this here podcast, Anele Umango Kushutashinyawoza, my mama's baby. It's been a while. It's been so long. I haven't posted an episode in like a month. It's been hectic. I've had like a lot of work commitments. I've also been like trying to really like set up here and clean up. If you haven't seen the like initial tour of the office, you'll see how much of a mess everything has been, and it's just been limiting me in a lot of ways in terms of just like mental free space and workspace, literal workspace. So yeah, I had episodes planned for like 2 or 3 weeks, but at the time to edit the content just like was not happening. And also the one episode was cut in half, so I didn't have half the recording, and then the other one is quite long, so editing it takes quite a while. So I just haven't gotten around to it. But outside of that, the ceiling is still in progress. That is, the last video that I posted was about like the ceiling updates, so there's just a little bit left now. I'll post like a full video in like 2 or 3 weeks where I like complete the thing and I paint the ceiling and like I make it like cute, or I try and make it cute. But so far it looks promising. So today's episode let's not talk about like planned, failed, and like past episode. Let's talk about today's episode. Today's episode is like really exciting for me. If you don't know, I have a cosmetics business. So cosmetics, I never know if I should say cosmetics or personal care, because I think of it as personal care, but it might be more socially acceptable as cosmetics, which is like body creams, skincare products, and hair care products. I've got three hair care products, and I've got about four skincare products. So yeah, I've got a website up. You can check it out in the links somewhere here on YouTube. But also what else? Yeah, and yeah, that's all there is to say about like what I've said about my business. But in this episode, I'm going to be like recording my process for some of the stuff. Obviously, I won't give like too much detail, but this is also just for my customers to understand like how we do things, how I make things, why orders can sometimes take so long because of the process that we are in. But yeah, I'm really excited. This is the first time I'll be timing myself in terms of like how long it takes me to like make a specific batch size, and see like so see where I can optimize, because I've optimized with like with formulas and formulation, but I haven't optimized in terms of like how long it takes me to create the product and like that whole thing. So yeah, I hope you really enjoy this episode. I'm not sure if I'll do a voiceover or just let it like play through and play some music over it, but I hope you enjoy whatever I decide. I really hope you enjoy, and like if there's any like interesting questions or thoughts that come up for you, please share them in the comments. As always, I really appreciate the comments, Mina, because like it reassures me what I'm not speaking into the abyss, you know, like into empty space, into nothingness. So when people like actually comment or engage, even if it's like, oh, this is like done, or is this safe, like even if it's just like lame questions like that, it does help me understand. It motivates me. It doesn't help me understand anything. It motivates me because there's people on the other side. Yeah, let me stop rambling, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Let's get into it. First up is the vitamin E serum. I'm making that using a bowl, a jug, a spatula, a scale, and a pair of gloves. I make it using a bunch of oils that you can see on the side, and we use a scale because cosmetic formulas are based on a weight formula and not a volume formula, which is grams and not liters, or kilograms and not like kiloliters. So I just measure out the oils, and I use the same bowl because I've gotten pretty concise with this shit. Sorry for the language. But yeah, it's a bit dangerous if you're not familiar, because you can't put it back into the original once you've mixed it in the bowl. I heat this up a little bit, and then I get the packaging. These are 50 ml bottles, and they have dropper caps. The syringe I'm using is at 20 ml. Usually I use a 60 ml, which is faster. So I'm just doing a bit of repetitive work here. But I love this product. It's the best selling, most effective product. You feel the difference like first time, and I love it. And I love the fact that it's easy to make. Yeah, and then they use the dropper caps, and the dropper caps just have to be filled a little bit so that it doesn't overflow. Next up is the apple cider vinegar scalp cleanser. This was one of my first products to make, and maybe one day I'll tell you the story, the journey to how we got our final formula. But to make this formula, we have to make 2 different phases, a water phase and an oil phase. So in the bowl is the water phase because that's the most, and then in the glass jar is the oil phase. So these are mixed separately, and then I just like stir it up a little bit and then mix them both together. And then I'll be making a second phase A. This is also a water phase. It's just I wanted to use a smaller container, and this is with a bit of guar or it's xanthan gum in this case. And xanthan gum is used to help stabilize the product and help them not separate, because when you use just a surfactant, it can still separate. Yeah, this is the phase A and phase B mixture without the xanthan gum. I test the temperature because it has to be at a higher temperature than room temperature for it to blend properly. And then I add in the second phase A, which is the xanthan gum. Only then do I start the emulsion phase, which like the blending, and the blender just emulsifies everything. And emulsifying is just like mixing or bonding oil and water particles together. So I have 2 surfactants in here, which is a decyl glucoside, and I'm not sure how to pronounce this, soy lecithin. And then the xanthan gum is used to like sort of stabilize the 2 or the 3 so that they don't separate with the water. It also has apple cider vinegar, which is great for scalp health. And then I just like clean it out so that I don't waste any of the products that are left in the container. And I blend again. This was my first, I have a pH meter. This was my first time using my pH meter. So far, I've just been using pH strips to test my products, whether they are like suitable for cosmetics. I think cosmetics require a pH of about between 3.5 and 4.5, but it's not a 7 for skin. So I let it cool down for a bit, and then I add the essential oils. I love this part of the process. I just feel like I'm a wizard when I add the essential oils, because it does genuinely transform the products from being a skunky, like apple cider vinegar smelling situation to a great product. And then the last bit is just adding, in the syringe, I was adding the preservative, which is Euxil. I never know how to pronounce these things. Euxil PE90. And that was also scale weight based. And then I had to calibrate the pH meter because it was my first time using it. Calibrate just means like it measures. You just ensuring that it measures correctly, or it's measuring its baseline is okay. So the baseline for this one is like 6.8, I think, and I had to make sure that's the baseline by using the I don't know what it's called. It's a buffer, it's a pH buffer, I think, or something. I'm not sure. And then I tested my solution. And then the next part is just measuring everything out. I kind of really hate this part. You have to measure everything by weight again, even though the packaging says milliliters. But I hate this part of the process, the pouring everything into the correct bottles and then closing it. And then the labeling. I labeled everything once I was done with both the serum and the cleanser. So I get my labels. These labels were printed in Pietermaritzburg by Science Solutions, but I'm going to try out a place here in Richmond, and I'm really excited for that because it means travel costs are lower. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. You learned something, or like whatever. It was just a good waste of time. And I hope you are subscribed. If you're not, you can click. There's a link somewhere. Click and subscribe. Even if you're not subscribed, I just like the video, and yeah, hope we see you here again next time. Toodles.